There are a few viewers that are having depths of despair as they are on their dark night of the soul. This is that they feel hopeless and helpless, and we are here to hold out our hand. You are not alone. We are here. Call us in. You are not alone. We wish for you to know that you are not alone, and your spirit has chosen this life for a reason. Your spirit has chosen to be here for a reason. Remember, this is all a game that you are playing on planet Earth, and you are the main character, and you're also the director. Remember, it is a game, and the point of the game is to move to the next level. Know that you have the power to change anything within your reality based on your consciousness expanding and transmuting dark back to light. This is a visualization. Visualize your life changing and fully accept. Take responsibility that you created this for your highest good, and things will begin to shift. You are not alone.
Welcome back to Awakened Minds podcast. Today's guest is Tara Arnold, a medium and channeler, specifically for Ascended Masters and Saint Germain. And today we get to learn about it. So guys, if you stick around through till the end, there is a channeled message for you all, so don't miss out. But without further ado, I welcome you, Tara.
Hi, thank you, Natalie. Hi, James. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Tara. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, so Tara, I wanted to start the podcast off by asking, for the viewers as well who may not know what channeling is, can you just give us a bit of a description as to what channeling is and how you got into it in the first place?
Yeah, so channeling is just receiving information from outside of us. So I first began channeling. I was taking courses on energy healing, but as a child I would receive messages from verbally, or audibly. They would talk out loud and I could hear them, and I would receive messages from my spirit guides, and I had different experiences like seeing my guardian angel or having Mother Mary come to me at different times in my life. And so I had always had this channeling, but I was very deep in the ego, and I didn't really think too much of it. It just was kind of normal. Before any big event happened, I would receive messages, and so it kind of prepared me if I was going to have some kind of trauma or something. They would always calm me down before it. And so I was very empathic and sensitive, as most of probably the people watching are. And so just being empathic, if anyone out there is empathic, you're receiving messages all the time. The universe is always bringing us messages. So channeling is receiving messages outside of us based on where we're vibrating at. So the universe reflects back to us where we're vibrating, and you can receive a lot of information consciously just by having something show up. If an animal runs across your path, look up the animal totem for it. That's a message from your spirit guides. There's always messages coming in. If you drop something on the floor, maybe they're telling you to drop your ego, or there's always different ones. So it's figuring out what those symbols mean to you, and then once you have an awareness, an aha moment, that's you channeling. So when you ask a question to the universe, you're asking, and you're in a state of wanting or a state of lack, because you would like something. So when you ask it and then you put it out to the universe, if you go play and forget about it, it raises your vibration, and then the spirit guides can drop in the answer. And when you get the aha moment, that's you channeling. So everyone watching is always channeling. It's just, are you channeling from the heart or the head? So every day we're channeling the ego consciousness. And if we're, angry, we all know how that anger can kind of catapult. It's because we tap into all the anger that is floating around the universe, and we start channeling it in, like, whoever's angry on the planet, those thoughts are out there, and we just start channeling in, and it gets bigger and bigger snowball. So all of us are always channeling. And if you're creative, you are channeling from your heart when you're creating. So as you're creating, the divine love comes into your creation, and then it flows and it feels good. And so that's like basically what channeling is just receiving messages of where you're vibrating at. It's like we're all holograms, like in front of us. It's reflecting back to us. And then the trance channeling, the difference between the conscious channeling and trance channeling is that the messages come in faster and more precise, and I feel their personalities. If you're going to trance channel like a spirit guide, you would feel their personality, and they would move your arms and hands. You would feel like they would feel like. They blend into your auric fields. They don't come into your physical body. It just blends into your auric fields. But you can also channel source energy or God or universe, whatever you want to call it in your terminology, without an identity, like without that like gender. So, or that personality. So you can also channel source energy without having a spirit guide, because you are everything. We all are everything.
Yeah.
So if you decide to trance channel and you don't want to have any specific spirit guides come in, you can channel source energy. Like Eckhart Tolle is one that he channels source energy. He doesn't call it channeling, but he receives information.
I knew
it. He receives information just from the universe. He doesn't put an identity to it. But a lot of us like to have friends, and we like to play on planet Earth. So we choose spirit guides because it makes it more fun. So it's just the difference between consciously channeling, what everyone that is listening right now, you're already doing it. It's everybody can channel. So just the difference is, if you decide to trance channel, you'll just go a little bit deeper with it. And it's like putting puzzle pieces together. It comes in really fast, and it's like building the puzzle pieces.
See, it's interesting that you mentioned that they blend with your energy, because my whole life I've been called a chameleon, and I never really understood why I was good at sales, why I was good at people, why I was good at matching people's energy. And I thought, well, that's just the empath in me. And here I'm coming to learn I'm probably just really good at channeling. And so I should probably dive into that a little bit more. But I've always been so curious about channeling too, and I've always been so drawn to it. So yeah, that's really interesting that you pointed that out. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you're interested in something, that means you're already good at it. So if you're interested in channeling, it means you're already good at it. You just don't know yet. Or if you're interested in artwork, if you're like, oh, that painting on the wall is beautiful, it's because you're already good at it. Your spirit's trying to tell you. That's another message from the universe. Like wherever your passions are, it's because you're already great at it. You just got to override the ego fears to get to it. So on the other side of the fears, everything's like so delicious, because you're actually overriding what the ego doesn't want. And so that's another way the universe gives you messages.
And that's something else you do as well, because I noticed taraarnoldart.com. So do you do art? Is that your artistic side? Is that one way that you were able to bring through channeling as well? Or
yeah, so I channeled the Ascended Masters into the artwork. And it begins with more of a, like, just playing, not having an idea. And as you create and get into the zone, they'll bring in, like, they'll give me the name of the painting, usually about halfway through. And then they'll just give me a message to go with the painting. And then as that's happening, the message is coming in, like a picture will start to form in the painting of some sort. So yeah, it's a lot of fun to channel artwork.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you tell us and the viewers a little bit about who Saint Germain is? Because I have looked him up, and he's a bit of a historic figure. And I read he is known as an ascended master and keeper of the sacred violet flame. Now, I just want to add in there, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but when I meditate, I see like little purple swirls and things like that. And I did see on one of your other podcasts that you mentioned if you're seeing purple, then most likely Saint Germain is already working with you. So can you just describe a little bit about the violet flame and who Saint Germain is?
Yeah, so that's exactly right. If you're seeing violet in your third eye, that means Saint Germain has been blending his energies with you. He's working with you. So Saint Germain is one of the spiritual leaders for the Aquarian age. And so like for the Piscean age is like Buddha and Jesus were a couple of them. And as we moved into the Aquarian age, Saint Germain came in, and anybody who's an ascended master is one who's lived on the planet, has transmuted fears back to love and expanded their consciousness to ascend, and now they can assist, and they understand our human emotions because they've been on the planet, so they understand all the everything that we're going through. So right. Like angels and archangels, they haven't been on the planet, so they don't get caught up with the human emotions. So they're like, oh, here's where you are, here's where you need to get to, and here's how to get there. And then the ascended masters help us transmute those frequencies that they transmuted while they were on the planet. So it's like we all come and put on this costume, and we come and put on the costume and then play the game to get back to where we already have been. So we all know the end result is consciousness.
Yeah.
And so the exciting part is the game. So when Saint Germain came to planet Earth, his last lifetime that I'm aware of, from what I've received messages on, is that it was the 16th century, and he was more like a philosopher, and he was like considered the Wonder Man of Europe, and traveled around, and so he comes in now with the Aquarian age, and Jesus and Buddha always come in with him at the same time every time I channel. Sometimes I'll channel like them as well, but usually I translate through Saint Germain. So when I'm channeling Saint Germain, he brings in the violet flame, but he says now he doesn't channel a lot of messages on it because we all have access to it, and we're all our spirits are activating the violet flame within ourselves. He's like, before people are teaching on it, like how to activate it. Well, it's automatically happening as we expand our consciousness. So when you start to see that violet flame in your third eye, because I know there's people listening that will have seen this, that means Saint Germain's already working with you. He's going to be working with a lot of people on the planet for the Aquarian age. So if you're getting like messages that he's in your reality, like James has purple violet flame going right there. He's like, because he's working with you, like there's messages. You might find a book of him in the library, or just randomly
come across one of Tara's podcasts.
Yeah, you might find a message about him on the YouTube or on TikTok or something. You might see his name somewhere.
Last night, that means as a matter of fact. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I just meant that's how you'll know he's working with you, is if he keeps showing up. So last night you saw him? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Last night I went to a sound bath with a friend of mine, and that's what happened to me last night. And I actually brought it up to them because the lady said she saw a lot of yellow, and I wasn't going to say nothing. I says, I've done these sound baths quite a few times, and it started off blue, and then I saw like gold, like sparkles, and then it got the deepest purple that I've ever seen. Like it was brilliantly purple. Like I was shocked that I've never seen it like that before. And so then this morning when
that was him. Yeah, he's telling me right now that was him. Yeah. He's giving me chills. He says, he'll bring in chills with it too.
Can I also quickly add to that? So last night when I was falling asleep, I felt I was having a conversation or being initiated into something. And I don't want to sound crazy here, but remember I messaged you, Jimmy. I was like, I don't know what just happened, but I'm having conversations that I can't quite
Yeah.
understand. And I'm like, I'm somewhere, but I'm here and I don't know what's going on. And I told Jimmy in a voice message, I'm like, man, is this got something to do with Tara coming on tomorrow? Like, are we being integrated or
she did,
initiated?
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he told me about that. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
looked it
sure.
up
Saint
this
Germain.
morning when I saw that, when I saw the violent flame of healing, I went, there you go. Well, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, he's connecting with both you guys, is what he's saying. He's laughing a lot because he's like, he says, like, old friends, like, see him as an old friend.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's great.
So one question I really do want to ask, and I think that this is one of the most important for, the baby channelers out there or the ones who are interested. But protection, that word comes up a lot. And for myself, I've never really focused on protection because I believed within myself that if I had to focus on the word protection, it means that I needed it, like, manifesting it. So I always believed in myself that I was always protected. I was always divinely guided. So what is your take on that?
Well, Saint Germain says you are everything. So what would you need to protect yourself from? So the same thing that you just said, it's like, it doesn't make sense to a lot of people now, because if we're awakening to remembering that we are connected to everything and there is no separation,
right,
then what would you have to protect yourself from? So he said, instead of using a bubble of protection, what he recommends is to, like, get yourself grounded, like whichever way you ground, with tree roots or however you do it. And then there's a lot of us that like, our spiritual body's consciousness is made up of fractals of light frequencies. It's kind of how I see it. It's like a ball of light, and there's like thousands of these frequencies. And sometimes when we have fears, like if we go to speak our truth, and because of all our other lifetimes where we got persecuted, or shamed as a child for speaking up, a lot of times those spiritual aspects will say, well, if I'm going to get in trouble, or if this isn't safe, then I'm going to step out. And when they step out and you feel anxious, it's like your spiritual aspects are hitting the edge of your auric field saying, something's dangerous. So it's really training those spiritual aspects not to be afraid anymore and fully integrating them into your human body so that you have your full essence. So all you have to do, or the only thing you have to do that is to command that all spiritual aspects that may have stepped out of your physical body and are floating around your auric field, come back into one ball of light and pull them into the center of your abdomen. Now, they're not going anywhere because you have a soul contract for this lifetime. So it's if they step out of your physical body, they can't leave the auric field. So you're just gathering them all up. It's like, the little children at recess, you gather them back up and bring them all back into the classroom. So you're just gathering them all back and integrating them and command. When you command, you evoke the God within you to create your reality. And so a lot of times the ego does not like the word command because it doesn't want you to create from the heart. So make sure you use the word command. So command all your spiritual aspects, come into one ball of light, and then just pull it down through your crown chakra, the top of your head, to the center of your abdomen, and say, it's safe to be in a human body. It's safe to fully integrate into my human body. It's safe to wear this human costume on planet Earth in the year 2023, because you want to bring it up to the now moment. So in this now moment, and then expand that as if it's an explosion from the center of you out. So first you have your grounding with the tree roots, and then you pull in, expand out, and then you are everything. So you just expand it out as far as it can go, and you're walking in with your essence, your full essence. And so as empaths, there's a lot of people maybe listening that have felt very sensitive as children, and naturally what we do as empaths, as Saint Germain showing me, it's like we walk into a room, and when there's people in there, we read their energy, and then we adjust our frequency to balance the energy in the room. so that we keep the peace, we don't get attacked, so it's like what is happening though is we're lowering our vibration to match everybody in the room, and there's a lot of low vibrations in the room. And so he said that's the old way, and then you needed the bubble of protection because you've made yourself small. So instead, walk in as if you're an ascended master, walk in with your full essence, and then you're expanded out, and there's going to be some people in the room that are going to get agitated with that because their egos are going to say, well, I can't make this person small. So that's okay. Don't worry about how people react to it. But there's going to be other people in the room that are very drawn to your light because you're walking in expanded, and you're walking in like with this power from your heart, not your head. Like you're walking in with your full essence of spirit, rather than us like, shrinking and saying, okay, I'm going to adjust the frequencies and make sure everybody stays calm. So it's not being afraid if people don't like it, because the superior fed egos have to get fed. And if you're not feeding them, they're going to leave. So they'll only be, maybe rude for a few minutes, and then they have to go get fed somewhere else. And if you're not feeding it, the spirit ego does not like an empowered empath because it can't get fed there. So it's going to go find somebody else to feed off. So you're going to end up with people that are in your reality that are kind and loving and there to seek, help from you, or, not attack you. So,
and that falls into the category of, I think I saw in one of your podcasts, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was the narcissist and the empath. And, they both really do need each other, right? Did you want to expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, it's like we're both seeking love. Like both of us, it's just like when the bully bullies you because they walk in the room and they're like, I need that person to please me, because if they please me, then I'll know I'm loved. And the empath walks in the room and says, I've got to please that person, because if I please them and they're nice to me, then I know I'm loved. So we both are looking for the same thing. But in order to, like, the bully can't awaken until the empath gets their power, because the bully spirit says, please stop feeding my ego, because I can never look in if you keep feeding my ego. So by walking in expanded and not feeding the ego of the superior fed ego, or the narcissist, or whatever terminology you want to call it, I don't try not to label, but it's like you can clearly see a difference between the types of egos on the planet Earth. So yeah, it's like if we stop feeding the superior fed ego, then they can look in, but they can never look in if we keep feeding it, because then their ego's always in charge. So if you stop feeding their ego and love you instead of please them, so it's like, in this moment, am I saying something to, or doing something to love me and honor the God within me, or am I feeding somebody's ego? Right. So it's yeah. And then once that happens, is they eventually, if a lot of people do it, then they'll start to look in, but their spirit wants to awaken too, right? And they can't if we are feeding it.
Yeah, that's incredible. And it makes so much sense, right?
Yeah, both of them actually. It makes so much sense. Well, everything you're saying, beautiful.
One thing I wanted to talk about is, our purpose as a human species coming here to this third dimension. It's such a cliche question, what is our purpose coming here? But I have heard somewhere that we are here to manipulate energy. Have you ever heard of something like that? And if so, could you just give us an example as to what it means to do so? Because I'm getting that it comes down to manifestation. Your thoughts and your words create energy, right? Is that along the lines of manipulating? And is this even why we came here?
Yeah, so the manipulating, do you mean like experiencing frequencies or transmuting them?
A bit of both, I guess. It's something that I've learned on a podcast, and they were talking about.
No, it was what Dolores Cannon had actually said, that that is one of the lessons you have to learn before you graduate from this reality, is how to manipulate energy.
Right.
And then my
Right.
interpretation of that was that art is manipulating energy because it's thought, and then you're producing energy to make the art. So I don't know what you
So
thought about that.
I think maybe I just use different terminology, but the same thing. So it's like, so Saint Germain's like showing me we came to experience frequency. So how do you know what you are if you have nothing to compare it to? So when you're consciousness, it's like, all of us are consciousness, and it's like, okay, I know what I am in consciousness, but how do I know that? Oh, let's create a planet with the polarities of what we are and then experience those frequencies.
Yeah.
So we come down to planet Earth, put on this costume, and then as we experience the polarity of what we are in darkness, then we will know that in compassion, because it expands our consciousness to remembering in grade 2, and a little boy pushes you and it hurts your feelings, you get hurt, you'll know you'll learn compassion from that, because you'll know, okay, that hurt my feelings. I know not to push somebody else, because that's what happens. I've learned it within myself. And now you've gone to that depth of darkness. Now you know the polarity of that in light. So spirits want to go to the deepest depths of the darkness so that they'll know the polarity of it in light. So that's the expansion of consciousness. It's like, if you can have really deep, dark, experiences on planet Earth, then you're going to be able to expand the polarity of that in light. So maybe grade 5, somebody breaks your heart, you have a crush on somebody and they don't like you, and you get your heart broken. Now you've gone to a deeper depth of pain with that. Once you heal that within yourself, you now have expanded to the polarity of that. So you've got to go to everything's always like an equal balance on the planet of yin or yang, so dark or light, male, female. Like there's always the male female energy within everything, and everything's trying to maintain equal balance of it, like our physical bodies or a tree or a blade of grass. Everything's maintaining that equal balance, because the equal balance of the yin and yang is consciousness. So it's like the deeper that you can go into the darkness. So there's a lot of spirits that have been here several times, and they're like getting bored with the game. They're like, okay, I've done so many things. I've expanded my consciousness with so many lifetimes of maybe some really huge traumas. But this lifetime, I'm going to go to the even deeper darkness. So how could I create a prison that I feel like I'm trapped in?
Wow.
And so we all create some kind of prison, whether it's we don't like our jobs, or there's, maybe abuse in the family and you're stuck in that family for, all of your childhood, or an abusive spouse, or there's so many ways we can create prisons. And now you see there's being in the wrong body, like transgender, that's another prison. It's like, or being in a disabled body, my body's sick, so now I've created a prison in my physical body. And so the spirit's like, oh, I want to experience the prison to see if I can get free while I'm imprisoned. So it's like this game of, can I be free while imprisoned? And so there's people that are in jail that are free. They feel free. They're conscious, and they're finally, there was a movie I watched, and the woman, her mother abused her whole life, and she ended up, her and her boyfriend killed her. And when she went to jail for it, she said, now I finally feel free, because I'm in prison, and my mother's prison was way worse. So it's like all our perception of our prisons, and can we be free while we're in them? So if anybody's feeling like really trapped in their prison that they've created, remember, it's a gift. It's like, oh, I've created this prison because my spirit isn't afraid to experience these frequencies. My spirit's here to transmute those frequencies back to love, so I can expand more. So seeing everything as a gift. And I think I might have gone off the topic a little bit. Yeah.
It reminds me of some lyrics from a Blues Traveler song. It said, I think I need a prison in order to dream of being free.
Wow, that's excellent. Yeah, that's
I
it.
used to have that written on my wall. I just thought that was meaningful in some way. I had that written on my wall for years. But now you said
Yeah,
that, it just brought that back up. That was great.
that's awesome. That's
Hey, could I
perfect.
ask you a question? So
Sure.
when you say to talk to your guides and they're always there for you, and I was researching. So how do you talk to guides? One of the things, examples that you have to know their name or at least ask their name, and that would help.
Yes.
Is there a
So you
way to
pick
go about
your
that?
Yeah, so you pick your spirit guides just like you'd pick your friends on planet Earth. Like who do you want to play with? So it's your reality, it's not spirit's reality. So as long as you're a vibrational match, meaning as long as your intention is from the heart, there's no limit to who you can channel or connect with. So some people will be sitting there waiting. They're waiting for the spirit guide to show them, to prove to them that they're there. And the spirit guide's like, I've always been here. I'm waiting for you to command what you want to create in
Right.
your reality. Do you want me there? They'll drop hints of who it is with, like I said, like finding a book with Saint Germain's name in it. It like started happening to me before I met him. And they'll drop hints with their name or their presence, like you'll feel the chills when you ask a question. That's your spirit guide connecting with you. But they don't usually like say it to you because they want you to figure out the puzzle piece. But you pick them with your intention. Like I'm drawn to the Ascended Masters because since I was a child, I was raised Catholic. And so I had trust in Jesus and Mother Mary. So that came very naturally for me. So based on your upbringing, based on your belief system, who do you feel like you resonate with? And you will be able to channel them. They will come in. They're all standing there waiting. If your intention's from the heart, there's no blocks you can channel someone who's alive. You can channel a pet. You can channel a star system or a blade of grass or, one of the Ascended Masters or an angel. There is no limit. You're only limiting yourself if you're waiting for them instead of saying who you want to channel.
Right.
Some of them will show up at different times in your life, depending on what you need and where you're at on your journey. So before, Saint Germain, like Jesus had come in before that, my guardian angel. So how expanded I was and what I was ready to receive, then that's what I would receive. So yeah, if you feel like, okay, I want to channel, you just start calling them in and they're there, but you have to trust it and know it and not doubt it. So the thing with the Ascended Masters is they get you to channel your truth and then they join you. So what I mean by that is everybody's vibrating somewhere different. So every single person on planet Earth has a different truth, meaning their upbringing, their expansion of consciousness. It doesn't even matter if they're deep in the ego and they're channeling from the ego, because the Ascended Masters are like, well, if that's where you're at, just don't doubt it. So if you go to channel and you say, okay, I'm going to call in Saint Germain because I feel like I resonate with him and I want to connect with him, and you call him in, he's going to be there. All you have to do is not doubt. If you doubt, you go back deep into the ego and they can't reach you. So they can reach you if you're the same vibration as them. That's why they said at the beginning, he's like, see me as a friend. Because if you see me more important, I can't reach you. Because if importance is not equal, so it's like you're separating our frequencies because you're thinking that I'm a different frequency when we're the same.
That is exactly what Jimmy says all the time, right? Say it, Jimmy.
All the time. I was going to say it anyway. I just had a message a couple years ago from my guardian angel, and it was when I didn't know how to pray, and I said it. I said to the lady who saw the angel, and I'm like, I don't have to do it. She says, well, when you go home, you talk to the sky. but you stand up and you have as much respect for yourself as you do for them. You don't get on your knees and you don't grovel and you don't act like, they're unattainable to you, because then they are.
Right, right. That's
And
exactly it.
that just changed my life. That changed my life. Literally, that's when my life changed, when I got that message.
That's awesome. That's exactly it. And if we ask the universe vague question, the universe responds with vagueness, because that's where we're. So if we're like, well, who wants to be my spirit guide? You're not really going to get a response, because it's like you're making yourself small, you're being very vague. But if you command what you would like in your reality, like I command that my guardian angel come and, show me a sign. They'll show you signs using your five senses. You just have to just kind of tap into the subtle frequencies. Like it might be a smell or a taste. If you smell something 3 times in weird places, that's a message from your spirit guides. Like you might smell oranges like in random places. You're like, why do I keep smelling that? Ask your spirit guides what it means, and when you have the aha moment, that's a message from them. So if you ask the universe a detailed question, the universe responds with more detail. If you ask a vague question, they respond with vagueness. And if you say, well, who wants to join me, they're trying to train you that you are everything. So who would you like to create in your reality? We're the creator, we're co-creators. So it's like, we came here to create. So what spirit guides do you want to create? Or do you want to just channel the universe, or, a tree? Or
I was told that they admire us for being here. You know what I mean? For actually doing this job. I was like, we are their hero. It's not the other, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean. It's like, and Saint Germain's making a joke. He's like, well, we're all equal.
Oh, yeah. So I didn't mean it like
the
that.
Hero,
all right, you're right.
The hero is more important. No, he knows what you meant.
Like
He's just joking around, but yes. So it's like there's all the spirits are like lined up watching our show. It's like the Truman Show, that movie. It's they're all watching, and some people, or some spirits are like, no, I'm not going to go back to Earth. It's quite a school here. Kind of it's a rough ride some days.
Question I had was, well, when I heard that or read that he was the violet flame of healing, one of my biggest problems would be an anxiety issue that I have every morning. From around the time I wake up, about 30 seconds after I wake up and it stops somewhere about 11 o'clock in the afternoon, somewhere around there, it just stops. And I'm just wondering what that is.
Okay. And what time do you wake up?
That would be anywhere between like 4 to 6 a.m., somewhere around there.
Okay. Let's let me see here. Okay, I just got to get permission, like from your spirit or your inner child, just to ask a question. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, no problem.
So I'm getting that it's the inner child. So like the way I do is I'll ask who's afraid? Is it like who's having the fear? Is it your mental body, your emotional body, your spiritual body, your physical body? And so it's like the spiritual body's consciousness. And then there's aspects of the spiritual body's consciousness. One of them is the inner child. So there's that. So it's like the inner child doesn't know if it's safe. So they step out. But there's also something else. Just one second. It's coming from the root chakra, like an insecurity. They're showing me from your childhood, like going to school, getting up in the morning and the panic of going to school, if like somebody takes my power there, or if, like it's just this unknown, like the fear of the unknown when it's like your inner child. So if you can get your inner child feeling safe, right when you wake up, so you can just visualize, that thing we we're talking about, just pulling your spirit into your human body. So you just pull it in and tell your inner child that it's safe to be in a human body, but like going a step further and creating a safe space for your inner child in the center of your physical heart. So in the center of your physical heart, if you just visualize like flying into the center of your physical heart, that's all that is. So you'll fly in there and it's like the universe is in there. And so you can meet your inner child, you can meet your spirit guides there, and just tell your inner child that you're creating a safe place for him in the center of your physical heart, so that he no longer has to experience like human, like your reality in third dimension. Like your adult self can experience that, but your 5-year-old, because the inner child's like an aspect of the spirit that stays young, so that we can experience joy, awe, wonder, innocence, and they're like the creative energy for a fifth dimension game. So if the inner child's feeling safe and not involved in your third dimension human activities, then you're going to feel a lot calmer, a lot less anxiety. So just put them in a safe place, like create like somewhere in nature, and then bring in anything that he wants. Like if he wants a spirit guide in there, just don't bring in any humans. So it's all visualization. And then bring in, like, you can bring in pets or toys, or like you can bring in Disneyland. Like there's no limit, and just fill up the space and show them that it's surrounded by something like maybe trees or angels, that nobody can hurt him, and that tell him that he doesn't have to be involved in your third dimension reality. He can stay in his safe place. And then you're going to feel like it's like a lot calmer, because it's him hitting your auric field saying, I don't know if this reality is safe, because it never has been. It's like, as a child, a lot of us are free playing, until we're about 5, and then we have to go to school and we have to please the teacher, and then we have to please our parents and clean our room, and then we get our first job after school and we got to please the boss, and then we got to go to university and please those teachers, and then we get, a partner, or you take care of your parents, and there's always this doing stuff for everybody else, and the inner child's like, what about me? Like, so if you can get him and just tell him that, your needs are important, I'm giving you respect, and ask him what he wants. The way that you'll know it's true, that there's actual spirit of your inner child, is he'll show you something in your visualization that you didn't show him. So he might show you a toy from childhood, and you're like, I didn't visualize that. How does he have this toy or something? And then the belief will be there. At the beginning, the belief isn't there unless you already work with your inner child. But once you realize it's like an aspect of you that's very innocent, very has a lot of anxiety, because they stay young. It's like, oh, and then you give that love to that you didn't get as a child, then they feel calm, and it'll just like every day will be a lot easier. It's this battle within us of this little inner child just saying, I don't know if I'm going to be safe. Like I'm always, getting attacked, or
Yeah, I know everything you're saying. That's beautiful. Again, that's beautiful. Thank you.
So what you just did there, is that, you're channeling? What was that? That was incredible. First of all, I just need to ask you, is that something that you do for, your clients? So people who are watching who may want to have readings from you or guidance from you, is this what you typically do?
I do have an connect with your inner child course, like Key to Happiness course. So in third dimension, our ego gave us joy. But as we're awakening, the ego joy leaves, and it's the inner child that's going to bring the conscious joy. So we're all kind of feeling empty, or many of us are. And so she or he has the key to happiness. So if you want to feel like, if you're expanding your consciousness and you want to feel that divine joy, they have the key. And if they're not getting respect, then they won't give you the joy. They won't bring you the happiness. So I have a key to happiness course I sell on my website. And I also have a connect with your inner child video on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, where I go into a meditation, and then like Jesus comes in and connects them to your heart.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'll link that in the description box below as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
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 I have a question for you. This is for Saint Germain. He can ask. So twice now, after we started this podcast, I had a visitation from Jesus where he basically was channeled through my dog. Okay. I know, as crazy as that sounds. So anyway, my dog passed away about a month ago, about 2 months ago, actually. And I'm just wondering how, because he explained to me that he was like he was my brother, Jesus Christ. And there's two all of us, actually. And just wondering how I would get a visitation now if my dog is not around.
Visitation from your dog or from Jesus again?
From Jesus.
Like, from Jesus? Okay.
Well, just all I asked, because he came both times through Ed, and now Ed's not here.
Right, right. Okay, I'm just asking them. Just 1 second. Well, he's saying you can channel him directly. He's tilting my head. When you go in, like, meditate, he's going to move your head. And then that's how you'll know it's him. He's going to like tilt it or turn it.
Well, this whole side of my face is like hot as like on fire.
Is it the left side?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the side he's showing me. So he'll either turn your head to the left or tilt it to the left. And that's how you'll know it's him. That's you channeling him. But he's going to be blending his energies more with you. He's like, you don't need to see me through somebody else. You don't need to see me through, like, I can connect directly with you. He says, right. I am you, you know, like he's you. So we bring an aspect of the Christ consciousness with us in the center of our physical heart, and you're just reaccessing that. So he's like, yeah, let me in a little bit more, because he's like blending. And you had a near-death experience. You were saying that it's like you had connection, like you had, you know, you've had these like things that have happened in your reality that you don't doubt already. Because he's saying that your faith is unwavering, like you don't doubt, like you already know that they're there. And so he's like, that's all that's needed. And so he's like, command me in, like, be more firm with what you desire. And then I can connect, because then you become the frequency that he is. And he's like, once you're my frequency, I can come in. So it's like, invite him in, but also command it. It's not going to feel comfortable at first, but it's like, I command Jesus now. Like, if you ever have an experience where it's like something really frightening, people shout Jesus' name like instantly, and things shift and miracles happen. He's like, okay, we'll do that. And just like, you know, in meditation, the same way. And he's like, and you'll feel me a lot stronger. He's going to, like, they're showing me, like, give you chills, but he'll also move your head. When he moves your head, then the belief will be there. It's like, you don't have to have the belief. But when I do it, then the belief will be there. He's going to give you chills and move your head when you call him in. And then you're going to be like, oh, and if it doesn't happen right away, don't worry about it, but just practice, like, like go into, you know, your meditation or whatever you do normally. and then just call him in, and then he's going to start giving you messages. Do you already get messages from him? Because he's like, I've been giving him messages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
when it happened those times with Ed, it was just intense. It was just I thought I was gonna pass out so many times. Like it got to be where I was like, and then it went away for about 10 minutes and I had time to recoup, and then it kept building up. And the second time I handled it much better, and it was all telepathic. Like there was
Awesome.
instinct, like it was incredible. That's why
Awesome.
just, now, like I said, my dog passed, he got hit by a car, but I just wonder if I was going to have an experience like that again, because it was incredible. It's just,
He's saying he'll bring Ed with him. So maybe you channel Ed
yeah.
at the same time. Yeah.
I
Oh,
was just thinking, Jimmy, I wonder if you're perceiving it as it was Ed, but in actuality, it was really you channeling. You just don't perceive it that way, right? Because it's something that you haven't done before. Does that sort of resonate at all? Or do you know what I mean?
what I was seeing was my dog, but I was having a conversation, and it was
Right.
back and forth, and he was reacting to everything that I was saying. Exactly. Like he knew what I was saying, the dog did, and I knew I was talking to Jesus. And like I said, I know how crazy it sounds, but if I don't care who believes me or not. It's one of them things where if you
It
don't believe
doesn't
me,
sound crazy. It
yeah.
doesn't sound crazy because the
Except if I
thing
was going to
is,
make something up, it would be better than that, you know? And like I said, the TV was saying things to me, and God showed up at one point. I could see through the ceiling. I mean, this was it lasted for hours.
The through the ceiling thing, I've had that happen too. It's like they lift the
Oh,
whole
really?
ceiling. So everything's just energy, and it's so, yeah, you don't need the dog or TV or anything. He's like, I'm going to connect with you directly. The thing is, when you start to channel them like that, where you don't need proof, because it's like, okay, I have the knowing. Like that's because that's what he's saying to me. He's like, he doesn't doubt. There is no blocks because you're not doubting. He's like, I can connect really easy. The thing is, our spirit's awakening. So we want to be our spirit wants to be part of the channeling. So it's our spirit blends with their energy. And sometimes you won't hear them like you used to hear them. You might not hear him speaking. He might come in more like as like the thoughts. He's going to still come in as thoughts.
Right.
But he might add things to it so that your spirit has a puzzle to figure out, because the spirit likes the puzzle. So it's like he might bring in a smell or a taste or a feeling or an emotion, and it's like putting the puzzle pieces together to make up one sentence. Or it could come in just as thoughts. When they bring them in as thoughts, they're bringing in light language into your crown chakra, and then you're just translating it with your brain into English. So you would, based on your upbringing and your education, you would choose your words depending on what frequencies they're bringing in. If you keep saying, show me more, they can bring in more. So if you find that you just have a couple messages coming in, remember to say, show me more, because it's our reality. It's not theirs. So they're waiting for our command. So it's like, show me more. Okay, I get that message. Now show me more. What's next? The more questions we ask, the more they answer. If we don't ask questions, they just sit there and they just wait. So
I have a question actually that just
thank you
popped
so
up.
much.
I've been told by quite a few psychics on this podcast actually that my crown chakra is wide open, and I would like to know what my connection is to that, because some of them are taken back by it, and I'm like, well, I don't know what it is you're seeing, what that's supposed to mean for me. But one of the women that we did a podcast with said that I have the ability to connect with source and even beyond, to the point where it doesn't make any sense. So could you help me with understanding, what my connection is? Is there a way for me to connect the dots?
Yep. So just 1 second. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I hadn't yet disconnected. So as soon as I channel for somebody, I disconnect from the other person. So that's an important thing to do too. I just bring that in. So I just disconnect from James, so I don't keep bringing in information from him. And then And then I also channeled his inner child. So I command that I fully disconnect from his inner child as well. And then command that him and his inner child fully disconnect from me. So the reason I'm saying this is just when you guys start channeling, because you're both going to be channeling, then, making sure that you fully disconnect so that you have your full essence back. If you're not fully disconnected, you'll feel and fully integrated back into your human body, because there's some aspects of you that are going to step out to make room for them. And so it's like getting fully integrated. What we were talking about is pulling your spirit into your body again. You'll know that you're not fully back in because you'll be off balance. You'll feel confused. You'll feel brain fogged, hungry, like you'll kind of tip over. So making sure you get back in your body. Like I channeled for about 2 years before I knew that. And I would be like, just banging into walls. Okay, so I'm just gonna see what you're showing me. You're welcome.
Wow.
Okay, so for Natalie. Oh. Okay, so Saint Germain's just coming in here. Oh, yes, welcome. I'm Saint Germain. We welcome you, Natalie. We are showing our channel that there is no blocks to you connecting. This is what would mean by your crown chakra being wide open. It is not that it is open. It is that it is receiving. You are able to receive our messages. We wouldn't use the terminology open. What would we use? One moment, please. Okay, so I just got to see what he's activated. It is activated. All the chakras are open. All the chakras are open at all times. All the chakras are open. One may activate at certain times in their life, and depending on their blueprint, what they put in their blueprint for when they would wish to expand their consciousness. And also the Kundalini energy is moving through everyone on the planet. The Kundalini is awakening in many at this time and activating chakra systems. We would say that your crown chakra is activated, which means that you are able to easily connect to us. And we're showing our channel the Palladian star system and light language. Okay, so I'm just going to come out of trance for a second. So he's showing me that, he's showing me you channeling like light language. So if you find that all of a sudden you just start speaking light language, like I translate light language but I don't speak light language. Some people speak light language. So he's showing me you speaking light language.
It's really interesting that you say that, because the other day, me and my daughter were just like making sounds, we didn't know what they were.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. That's the light language. So he's saying that that's that open crown or whatever. He's like, it's just you have access to different, like he showed me like Palladian, but the Ascended Master showed me they're from the Pleiades, like a 10th dimension Palladian
Well, that makes
star
sense
system.
because I had a dream and I told Jimmy about this. I was seeing the world and it was a blue woman that was showing me the world. And in that dream, I call it an astral projection now that I'm aware, she took me back to my body and I woke up and was like, what was that? So
awesome.
Right.
So you're getting, and the Palladians associated with the blue and
it's my favorite color. Yeah.
Right. And the Ascended Master show me that they reside in the Pleiades star system. So yeah, you might find that you're starting to channel, like, because Saint Germain already brought in the violet flame and is working with you. And so you might find the thing about that is they all come in at once, like once you get used to them. So it's depending on what is required. So for me, like when I channel, like on YouTube, I might be translating through Saint Germain, and then Jesus comes in. He's just like, "Oh, I'm just bringing through frequencies for the heart chakra," and then he'll show me like green colors, and then I can feel stuff coming through my heart chakra, and then he's showing me it's going to the people that are watching. Well, they're going to be working through you the same way, like both of you, because you're on a platform that you're in front of people. So they're like, "Okay, we're coming in." So the open chakra there. So they're going to come in. And so once you get adjusted, your physical body adjusts to their frequencies, it's like more of them can connect. So each time you connect with them, they're going to bring in another drop of their frequencies. And then your physical body adjusts to it. So you might say, okay, I'm going to go connect with them. You might feel really heavy. Don't be afraid of the heaviness. That's them saying, hi, we're blending our energies with yours. You might find that when you go to connect with them, like in meditation, your body feels heavy. That is normal. Like some people get scared of it. They don't want you to be scared of it. And they also like might just shake your body for a while because they're clearing out chakras or transmuting fears back to love within chakras.
Can I make a mention of this? So whenever I meditate, and this has been quite regularly now, it's almost like I feel like I'm in a floating state and my whole body just gets like this energy and it goes all up my back and then goes all over my body. And then I don't feel heavy. I feel opposite. I feel just really light and I just lay there and embrace it. And then I don't even have to meditate now. I can just lay down and I just feel this incredible calm, incredible energy throughout my body. And I don't know what that is, but I feel like that has something to do with Pleiadians and that energy.
Yeah, he's saying the Kundalini energy. So it's that's why he mentioned it earlier. The reason I'm saying that it might feel heavy is because after today, like after our conversation, your spirit's going to trust it more and is going to allow more of their energy in. So if they had come in really heavy, it might have like sometimes it'll scare people. So once we're having this conversation, they're telling you, then after today, you might feel it as like super heavy. Just know it's them.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Because
I will also say I had my chart reading done and this woman, she actually said to me that I will be scared. At one point I will be opened up and it will scare me a little bit. So it's like another confirmation that this is actually, I'm on that path. So it's pretty cool.
Right. They probably didn't want to startle you with the heaviness, but it's just because the physical body's so dense and it says, I don't recognize this high frequency of divine light. That's so new to me because I'm in this dense body. So the physical body is consciousness as well. And so it just has to be reminded it is. So as they bring in a drop of their frequencies, then that blends into your auric field, the physical body says, okay, I don't need to be afraid of this. It starts to adjust. And then after a while, it gets lighter and lighter again. But at the beginning, when you're connecting with them, sometimes it feels heavy, like when you're practicing. And then when they come in and blend, this is great because both of you guys are going to be channeling them. So this is like fun. When they blend their energies.
You have a time frame on that?
You can do it tomorrow, they're saying. You can do it whenever because you've both been on your path for so long. You're both of your your consciousness is quite expanded. So you have no blocks to connecting with them, either of you. It's just knowing it and not doubting and just like commanding, like being more firm with what you want to create in your reality and commanding it in. And then they're right there. Like they'll come in so fast when you get like more power with it.
So
yeah, they'll be doing the healing through you. So there's nothing you have to do with the healing. They're going to come through your chakra. So like I was saying, if you're channeling Saint Germain and then you're translating him or you're translating light language, like Mother Mary might pop in and say, oh, I'm just bringing something for the sacral chakra. And then Mary Magdalene or another Pleiadian, you'll know, like sometimes Kuan Yin will come in and start doing sound healing. You'll just start humming and you're like, what is going on? And it's like Kuan Yin's like, I'm bringing through frequencies
yesterday. Yeah, I just started humming just randomly, like I felt the urge to hum. So I'm like, oh, interesting.
So it's like with spirit, because our spirit wants to be part of the process. Like, 100 years ago, they would fully overtake our body because we weren't consciously awake enough to blend our energies with them. But now that we're expanded and aware that we have this, can be part of it, it's like when they blend their energies with us. Oh, I lost my train of thought there. It's like, oh, I forget what I was gonna say, but they're gonna blend their energies with. What were we just talking about? I just missed that.
So when back in the days of the Ascended Masters, they weren't conscious of channeling, and so they fully took over their body back then. But right now that we're more conscious and aware, they can merge and blend with energies rather than take over.
Right. So that's what they're going to be doing with you. I forgot what we were talking about. We were talking about your healing. So they're going to come in and they're going to be bringing through the frequencies. And this is what I was about to say, was that you start the vibration and spirit joins you. So if you're doing automatic writing, you start writing, spirit joins you, it starts flowing. If you're going to channel artwork, you start painting, they join you and it flows. If you're going to channel your inner child, you visualize your inner child, and then your inner child shows you something. So it's the same with when you go to channel them. If you feel like humming, that means they want you to hum, and then they're going to join you. And what happens is they'll take over. And so all of a sudden you're like, I'm humming, but it's not me. And they're like, they've got,
it's like to calibrate the frequencies, right? And that's how we connect in that way.
Yeah. We start the vibration and then spirit joins us. So when I say, yes, welcome, I say, yes, Saint Germain says welcome.
Wow. Awesome. Okay. So in order to really start that process, we have to begin and then they connect. Right.
Yeah. So you just start the vibration and then they connect. So if you go to do your light language, you just start like humming or just start saying whatever thoughts are coming in, and then relax into it. And then they'll join you and start bringing through. And this is for everyone that's listening too. If you're interested in channeling, just, know that it's not just us three, like everyone can channel. And so try it out and see, and just not have any fear with it. Sometimes if there is fear, then it's going to come to the surface, so you might startle yourself or get scared, but just keep going with it. And you can only channel from where you're vibrating at. So if you're vibrating in fear, you're going to create something fear-based in your reality. If you have no fear, it's only the light, but the dark is light that is forgotten. So you instantly can transmute any fear-based energies or entities or whatever you want to call it back to love instantly. So like if somebody says, oh, I saw a ghost and it scared me, well, it's because you're vibrating in fear, or else you wouldn't have created that in your reality. You can't create something that you're not. So if you have no fear, you can only create non-fear based entities like the Ascended Masters.
And then there's also the perception of fear. It's like we see fear as something to be scared of, but in reality, fear could just be a reminder of something that we don't necessarily like. So it's also that comes to perception as well, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. When I asked Saint Germain, I was like, well, who's the devil? And he said, it's your ego. It's like that's the darkness is the light that has forgotten. It's on the same scale. So if the polarity of everything, there's like love and hate or dark and light, it's on the same scale. You just slide the scale up, but it's like dark is light because it's on this, it's either you slide the scale up or down. It's like, oh, do I want to be more hateful today or more loving? Well, I'll just slide the scale up. But it's on the same scale. It doesn't leave that scale. So it's like, oh, if I just surround you guys know this, it's surrounding the light with you're surrounding the dark with the light, it transmutes instantly because the light's always vibrating. Like the divine light's always not higher frequency, but a more expanded frequency. So it instantly transmutes the dark. So anybody that's getting into channeling that is having some fear with it, and then you all of a sudden you have a ghost show up and scare you, just know that, oh, okay, that was just my fear creating that. I'm gonna let go of the fears and see what shows up then, and not stop, because I feel like a lot of people stop and put the brakes on because they're like, something fear-based showed up. Well, you're still transmuting all your past lifetime, fears of possession and stuff. Like those were experiences our spirit like to create in past lifetimes, which are all happening now, because time's not linear. Everything's happening now. It's like now stacked moments. But like from what I can see, from what Saint Germain shows me, there's very few people on the planet that want to have a possession that have put it in their blueprint to have that experience in this lifetime. They're like, they've done that so many times before. That's like boring to them. Their spirit wants something different. So let go of your fears, and you're not going to create the same thing that you did in those other lifetimes.
Sorry.
Yeah, the fears of the past lifetimes are coming up to be loved, because we didn't know how to transmute them in our other lifetimes. So now we know we have the power to transmute them. So that's why sometimes when you're starting to get into channeling, it feels scary, or you have something scary happen. Like I created stuff in my reality that was scary, and then now I laugh about it. But at the time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, Tara, everything you're saying is magnificent. I'm in awe. Just the way you explain it, it's great.
Oh, thank you. This is fun. We're having a good time because we're all going to be channeling Saint Germain. So it's a really
I
good
just
time.
had it in my head,
smiling.
how fun would it be if we all channeled together one day to be like, hey, look, she was right. We did it, guys. And now we're going to do a channel message for everyone. Like, that'd be so much fun.
So if you
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Would you have any advice for us, for either of us right now, to further, get our channeling together?
Well, remember, you gotta accept and acknowledge that you can do this. You know what I mean? And Saint Germain has just told you,
far as is there a food to eat, a diet to have, an exercise?
Right. There's some channeling myths. So like some people say you can't eat meat. I eat meat. Like I've had no problem. The thing is, when spirit wants to get your body like feeling better, it's gonna have you taste your favorite foods that maybe like mine was like, dill pickled chips and ginger ale, and all of a sudden they both start tasting like perfume, so I can't eat them anymore. So that's how you'll know when they want you to change your diet. So that's like that intuitive eating. So he said just eat intuitively. If something doesn't taste right, like I just cleared a past lifetime. It took like a year. And as soon as I was done it, all of a sudden I just didn't want meat anymore. And I have no idea why, but it was like a few weeks now. And I'm like, I ate meat every day. So I was like, I'm just going with it. I just started putting more, vegetable protein and stuff in my diet. But I was surprised. I was like, okay. So over the years, my eating has changed based on because when I first started channeling, like sometimes you need like a lot of carbs, or you need a lot of sugars, or you need just because your physical body's changing so much, and you're going to go up and down in weight. You'll go up and down in weight because your physical body's consciousness is going through its own awakening. And so so to get ready, eat intuitively.
You mentioned water
to get grounded,
as well,
because so like drinking more water takes twice as much water to trans channel, I find, than it does to consciously channel, because it's like a conductor. And so I can't find the words. It's like a wind up toy. The battery runs out of energy. That's what it feels like when I don't have enough water. Also, the grounding is most important. You can ask Jesus to plug you in better, or one of your spirit guides. So you just ask them to plug you in. And sometimes like if I can't get grounded enough and I just like, Jesus, plug me in, it's like it slams in like so much faster. And so asking them to help us ground
I just did it. My feet are tingling. As you're saying stuff, I'm thinking this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he'll place his hand chakras on top of your foot chakras, and then he channels divine light down through the tops of your foot chakras. Wow. You can just really visualize that, and he just slams the energy down, and then all of a sudden they can connect easier because it's like, they're plugging you in.
You just reminded me of something.
I can feel it without a doubt. It's
So Sarah, my friend, she did an energy healing on me, right? She put my crown chakra. She said she wanted to push it through my body. And she's like, close your eyes and breathe in. I breathed in. And then when I breathed out, she said, look at a tree, open your eyes as you're breathing out. And when I did, I felt something pull my legs down to the ground. And what you just said about Jesus, because I have a cross. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm not a Christian. I just love Jesus' teaching and all that he's about, and healing and love. And you just made me realize, I wonder if that was Jesus grounding me from my feet, pulling me down. So that's incredible.
That's exactly it.
Yeah,
that's exactly it. He's bringing me in,
and it was
heavy.
He's confirming it.
Yeah.
The one you said earlier about bringing them through your crown chakra into your middle of your stomach, and then exploding it. So I did that. I was like, whoa, like I felt all that.
Yeah, they want us to train our spirit that's safe to be in that human body now. Like this is the lifetime we're actually safe to wear the human body. We're not going to get killed. We're not going to get persecuted. We're not going to get put in prison for speaking our truth. Like, it's just all those aspects don't know that. So it's like, no, it's safe this time. And every time I told somebody, like in my third dimension reality, I get a lot of attacks and stuff. And then one day Jesus is like, Saint Germain, Jesus, like, stop telling people. I'm like, oh. And so I just stopped. And then I just, started this YouTube channel, and I'm like, he's like, if, the universe wants them to see it, then we'll send the people to see it. Right. But anybody in your third dimension reality has to put out your light. That's the only game that they're in, is they're there. We create the people in our reality that as we expand our light, we create them to put it out, like their egos to put it out. So it's like we keep handing them the key every time we maybe like share something. So I, with the channeling, like there's like most of my family doesn't know. I never said anything. They don't know about my YouTube channel or anything. And I'm like, well, it's up to God if they want them to see it. And then my mother-in-law and my brother-in-law emailed, and my brother-in-law said, I found you on YouTube. And he was quite upset, quite mad about it. Oh yeah. So that's why. So then I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So it's just the when you're raised in a religious upbringing.
Okay.
So now it's just like and there's embarrassment. He was embarrassed. And so now we just let the universe, so if my side of the family is going to find out, then the universe will show them, but it's none of my business how they react. Right. So that's basically what we said. I said, it's fine that you're upset. I'm not. I'm happy with my YouTube channel. I feel good about it. And, they don't have to watch it. I didn't ask them.
Well, now it reminds me of something popping in my head all day. So I'll tell the story. So my father was very religious. So was my mother and all. So when I sent the video, because one of the first videos we made was over the first Jesus experience. And so I sent it to him, and I told him about it. And he told me, he goes, of all these, I know many people better than you, Jim, never met Jesus. And so I said to him, I says, here's hypothetically, let me ask you a question. I says, right now we're standing here, and for everybody but you, time freezes, and the Jesus comes to you and tells you that the church has been lying about this, that, and the other thing. And he says, now when time comes back, 80% of the public are not going to believe a word you have to say. As a matter of fact, they're going to get mad at you for saying it. Now, when time does start back up, are you going to spread Jesus's word, that he told you personally? Or are you going to go back to just doing what society says? And he sat there, he says, that's a good question. He goes, truthfully, I don't think I'd do it. And then I said, well, maybe that's why Jesus didn't come to you, because he knew you wanted to.
Right, exactly. He knows who's gonna, he knew that I'd start a YouTube channel. He knew you guys would start a YouTube channel. So they're like, okay, let's go to these ones to get the word out. Yeah.
Right. I just thought he was like, that was pretty profound. He's like, truthfully, I don't think I would do it.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect him to say that. You know what I mean? That was
yeah, that's awesome. That because you gave him a perspective, like he had to think about it. He had to put himself in those shoes and see. Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's
didn't
funny
want to tell that story.
Yeah, and it's funny how the church will tell you to pray to God, but as soon as God answers you, they tell you you're crazy. So it's like, you told me to talk to God my whole life, and I have, and now he's responded, or whatever name you want to call it, the universe, or it's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say, Tara, thank you so much for joining us and helping us with our own, wants and needs through channeling and learning. And I just appreciate you joining us today. And if you wouldn't mind, we would love if you would do a collective channeling for the viewers watching today before we end the podcast.
Sure, no problem. Thank you for having me, both of you. I appreciate it.
Here.
And it's been fun. It's been a fun time.
It's been amazing.
I just have to drink a little bit more water because
take your
they're telling me another thing is body temperature too. So if you're too hot, it's so when they connect with you,
this whole side of my face was burning. I felt like I had sunburn.
Right. So when you go to practice or go to connect with them, if you're too hot, it's like their energies are so vast. So when they connect, before they connect, they'll lower your body temperature, and then when they connect, it raises it back to normal temperature. If you get too hot while you're channeling, you'll feel them pull back because they're trying to tell you that it's you're getting too hot.
That's been my problem lately. The past few months with meditating was I get tranquil but very hot, and then when I stop meditating, I go directly to freezing, like where I have to jump under the covers and
right. So before you start like meditating, have the room cool, and then when they connect, it'll just raise it to a normal temperature so you don't get like super hot. Because if I channel when I'm too hot, I feel nauseous after, I feel headachy. It's our reality, so I can keep channeling because I can pull them back in, but they're pulling back to show me my body temperature is getting too hot.
Right.
So like right now they're telling me that I was a little warm, so they're like, drink water. And okay, so I'll just go into trance. If I'm too hot, I'll just grab an ice pack there. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going to tap into the audience, like so this is on a podcast, so you have like listeners and then you have YouTube as well. Do you have both? Like, is it? Yeah. So
so this goes on to YouTube, so it'll be the YouTube collective.
Okay. Is there other things it goes to as well?
So I also make reels, and I'll be posting them to Facebook as well.
Oh, okay, because I could see a couple places. So what I'll do is I'll tap in to the how I channel Saint Germain. If anybody's wondering, it's like we'll tap into the viewers' frequencies and then channel a message from where everyone's vibrating at. So he just reads the viewers or their listeners' energy, and then he'll channel something.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. Thank you.
I guess welcome. I'm Saint Germain. We welcome you. Okay, so I'm just getting grounded. Okay, so I'm just tapping into the audience. Oh, yes, welcome. I'm Saint Germain. We welcome you. We are showing our channel. There are okay, I'm just tapping in. I just gotta see something. There's somebody blocking, so we're trying to get through. There's somebody that doesn't want their truth shown, but we don't tap into like specific names or anything. So he wants to give me a message, but he's showing me that there's an energy field that the person's like putting up a block, but he's got to get through it to get to what they want to channel about. Oh, yes, welcome. I am Saint Germain. We are showing our channel Depths of Despair. It is there is depths of despair. One moment, please. Okay, so we're just going into someone who's feeling very alone right now. Oh, yes, welcome. I'm Saint Germain. We are showing our channel. There are those of you who are saying, I am not where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be somewhere else. I'm supposed to be somewhere else. Why am I here? And this is keeping you stuck. We are showing our channel. This is keeping you stuck in a vibration of not excelling forward. It's stuck. I am stuck because I am thinking the situation should be different. This is not where I signed up to be. This is not where I wanted to be. And I do not want to go on. We would say that you are always where you're supposed to be, or you would not be there. I am where I am supposed to be at this moment. If you accept it, then the energy can shift and your life can get better in your perception. We are saying can get better, but we would not use that terminology. We would say that you can move forward. Because in our perspective, your life is perfect. You were saying, I need to get it better because I am miserable and everything is going wrong and I'm always getting attacked and I am not loved. And we are here. You are only stuck because your belief is that you're not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here in this situation, in this moment. Instead, take full responsibility that you created this for your highest good and things will shift. It will shift into more abundance and into more love. Fully accepting when one creates a win in life, when one gets a job raise or a promotion at work or wins a lottery or someone bakes them a nice cake or a meal, they feel good. They say, I created that in my reality and this is great. I am happy. But then when things go wrong in your perception, you were saying that it is not my creation. But if you say that you create everything in your reality, then you have the power to change it. You do not have the power to change it if you're not taking responsibility that you created it. We would say this is different than blaming. Do not blame oneself for something. I'm mad at myself for getting fired at work. I was so stupid that I said those words in front of my boss and got fired because I did the wrong thing. This is blaming. This puts you back into a third dimension vibration of lack, and you will never get anywhere. We would say that if you would like to move out of this, stop blaming oneself, but instead say, I take full responsibility that I created this situation of getting fired from my job for my highest good, and see what doors start opening. Doors will open because you have fully accepted and taken responsibility that you create everything in your life, and now you have the power to change it. There will be new job opportunities, or there will be opportunities that you have never thought of. We would say to fully accept. We are showing our channel. There are a few people that are having, we would not say a few people. One moment, please. There are a few viewers that are having depths of despair as they are on their dark night of the soul. This is that they feel hopeless and helpless, and we are here to hold out our hand. You are not alone. We are here. Call us in. You are not alone. We wish for you to know that you're not alone, and your spirit has chosen this life for a reason. Your spirit has chosen to be here for a reason. Remember, this is all a game that you are playing on planet Earth, and you are the main character, and you're also the director. Remember, it is a game, and the point of the game is to move to the next level. Know that you have the power to change anything within your reality based on your consciousness expanding and transmuting dark back to light. This is a visualization. Visualize your life changing and fully accept. Take responsibility that you created this for your highest good, and things will begin to shift. You are not alone, and there is a way to the light. Your spirit is on its path to that light, even though it is dark and it feels like you are walking through quicksand. Know that your spirit has taken on this journey because you are an old soul. You are an expanded of consciousness, that you have gone to a deeper darkness within it. No, it is because your spirit is a warrior. You are not victims of suffering. You are warriors of experience. And you have had many lifetimes where you had deep, dark experiences, and your spirit is taking it to the next level. Do not be afraid of the dark. Show it the light, and it will transmute. You are not alone. Do not be afraid. We are here. You do not need to leave the planet in order for things to change, in order for the light to come in. Climb out of the darkness. You have the power to do this. Remember, this is a game. Can you figure out the game and transmute those frequencies back to love? If you were in a video game, you would not go back to the next level. You would not quit the game. You would say, I would like to move forward and see what the end is. I will move to the next level. We would say, keep moving forward. Be in the now moment and visualize moving forward from there. Stay in the now moment. And this is saying not to go back to the past or the future. Neither of them exist. When your mind is creating chaos and depths of despair, everything that's happened in the past no longer exists, and everything that is happening in the future does not exist. The only thing that is happening is now. This is where we would say to create from. Go to the now moment. Be present in the now moment. Connect to the consciousness of everything in your reality. If you're sitting on a chair, connect to the consciousness of the chair to get you into the now moment. If you're washing your hands, connect to the consciousness of the water. Connect to the consciousness of the computer sitting in front of you. Feel the God within everything. This will put you in the now moment, and then create from there. Visualize from there. Visualize a life that you desire and what you choose to have in it. You are not alone. Okay.